and this is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome into a Rant Wednesday. It's an F day somewhere. Shout out to Howie Schwab today, as we absolutely love Wednesdays here on Coaching Company. Now, today we are preempted on the Stadium Network, so we are live on YouTube and social media. If you're watching on YouTube, it's a good day for you. On your way in, hit that like button for us. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do that as well. Today, we will have another free merch giveaway. Why? I'm so glad you asked, because yesterday we had another fantastic day here at the brand. 7-1. Look at that glorious page. The only person to lose a game was Soupy last night. I'm now 4-0 in my last 2 days. We were 18-3 in our last 2 days here on the brand. So hashtag Howie. Hashtag Howie. You will get your spot on the Coach and Roulette Wheel, which we will do live at the end of the show. You have to be watching live, but you could win a free piece of merch, free T-shirt. There you see it right there. My man, Big Tommy. Fugazi? What? Fugazi? Kiss Up Mountain. We've got a whole page on the Coach and Bro Show, Mamby Pamby. You know what? There's a new shirt out there. Let's roll the video right now. Producer man, do we have that video of let's just roll it and see if you guys want to buy this T-shirt. And I'm an idiot because I'm an idiot. So we'll run it a little bit later, but we always like to promote every now and then. So that's on me. Producer man is going to kick my ass because I throw a little wrench into the works. All right, we'll get into that in a second. But a little news of the day, WNBA last night, a 12-hour negotiating session. We may have them in our rants coming up here in about 15 minutes. Today was the day. Today was the deadline by the WNBA to not affect the schedule. And when you hear some of the numbers, when you hear some of the asks, your mind is going to be absolutely blown for a league that has lost money for 28 years, basically in a row. Also, a lot of drama going on in the NFL. Today starts the new league season. And one of the biggest trades we talked about, I think on Monday, Max Crosby. Well, he ain't going. We'll talk about that coming up in front page news. But Trey Hendrickson has signed with the Ravens, coming over from the Cincinnati Bengals. 4 years, $112 million, up to $120 million. So that money that Max Crosby was going to get, well, Trey Hendrickson says, thank you very much. All right, I believe that is all of the housekeeping that we need to do. And I am fired up because I love rants. We love Howie Schwab, and I love winning best bets. Can we do it 3 days in a row? We're about to find out. Oh, there they are. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time. Once again, let's beat the books. All right, look at the team we have today. Today. Let's start with the upper left-hand corner. Last night, a little, it wasn't even a premium pop-up. It was a free pop-up. Mikey P is all invested in the brand. He's all invested in March Madness. Mikey P, how did the pop-up go last night?
It went very well. We were pretty busy. Shout out to the chat queen and JC1 for joining. Went 2-1 on the picks. So not a bad start to getting the premium pop-up shows back up. But, Coach, I love nights like last night. And how good is the sports world, right? Gifting us all these headlines on a Rant Wednesday. Sports world flipped on its head. I'm here for it. I'm ready. I'm fired up.
All right. I like that energy. Let's go right next door. He's our numbers guy for a reason. Say good morning to Raphael Esparza. Good morning, Raphael.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, family. I wasn't on the show, and I'm glad because the 2 picks I was going to select, I would have went 0-2. So thank you guys for not having me on yesterday.
You know what, Raphael? You never have to ask me not to have you on the show. All right, next. This man right here. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to do. Producer man, let me know if we're loaded up there, by the way. His ego, his DMs are both barely able to fit through the door. Ladies and gentlemen, he is not the co-host. He is the host of The Last Word. Who knew? The man had it in him. Big Tommy C. My guy, good morning.
I have something in me, but I don't know if it's that, Coach. How are you guys today? It's a great day.
Yes.
I'm a little pissed off, and you'll hear it in my rant. And going off my T-shirt, it's a little Fugazi stuff going on. That's all I'm going to say.
Do you want me to make you feel a little bit better here real quick?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I'll fully admit that when we decided to bring the last word back, I thought that Gabby would host. And then all of a sudden, something went through your head, and either I misspoke and all of a sudden you thought you were hosting. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I am going to let this man host and see what he does. And Tommy, in front of the whole world, you are killing it as the host of the show. Killing it. Now, yeah, we got to have a little Raphael clap for that. Now, with all that being said, and the numbers are really good for the first 2 weeks, I do think that we have a little bit of a secret weapon, as it were. So we have our new merch store, and, let's just show you what happened Monday night on The Last Word.
Well, first of all, you mentioned marketing and merch, and no one has once yet talked about my shirt that I'm wearing, trying to sell for the brand, because I have to do everything around here. So until I get into Danhausen, because I have a lot to say, I guess I got to do everything. So, Coach, if you're listening, you're welcome. I'm wearing a Dirt Sheet Dan Double D shirt. I don't know if you can see it.
We can see it.
I don't know if you need to go a little bit closer. Dirt Sheet Dan, DD. Dirt Sheet Dan is listening somewhere, having a heart attack. You're fucking welcome. First thing. Use the code Double D. That's actually spell out the word DOUBLED. You save 15%. Dan, I want a cut of it, Dan.
Okay, you can have a cut of the merch.
All right, relax.
You talk to
Coach. You got a cut. Look like you got a cut of it already.
Yeah,
it is
I had
cut.
to cut it myself for the sale. But like, you're welcome. You know what I mean? Like, I have
Dan House is getting that cut.
Yeah, exactly.
He was selling his own merch. He was selling his own merch before Raw.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm the Danhausen of this show. Apparently, everything I do turns to gold, and I sell things off the thing. So, you're welcome, Coach. You're welcome again. I know you couldn't face me to come on tonight, but you could talk a lot of smack on X. Which is
I'm not talking smack right now. Oh, absolutely not. All right, take it down. Take it down. All right, Tommy, Raphael. I mean, that got very edgy. Very, very quick.
Speaking the word of quick, it was quick, Coach. It went quick.
Right. You all had lines in that thing, and Double D didn't even know what to say. And by the way, the 50% off is real if you put in code Double D. She might be the best billboard we could ever have for the merch store.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I can't wait till she gets my shirt and cuts my head.
I never want to hear that again. I never want to hear that again.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Thank God we're not on Stadium today. Holy smokes. But Gabby, if you're watching, what am I saying? What am I saying? My bad. My bad. All right, finally, we have one more man. He's the executive producer for BetMGM tonight. You want live betting, and we're not going live with Mikey P? Go right over. You got 5 hours every single night. My man, Brandon Combs. What's up, Pete?
5 hours of live betting as long as Max Crosby's trade doesn't get avoided.
Oh, was that your whole show last night?
The last half of it, once it broke at 8 o'clock, yes, we went straight to callers. But I do want to say, Gabby, if you are watching the show, maybe fourth time's the charm.
Wow, interesting. Now, I don't book your guests, by the way, but if I were booking your guests,
yeah,
I might give Gabby a call. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm coaching her behind the scenes in the sports world because I want her to be able to do everything. Because I think she is, all kidding aside, she's as talented I don't even say female, as anybody I've ever worked with on the air. She just needs that push. But she is dynamic. Dynamic. So I've got her number, Brandon. You let me know. All right, gentlemen, we've got a lot to get into today. And all of a sudden, I'm feeling the energy. I'm feeling the vibe. But as I'm looking at these four faces, I don't know if you guys can handle the pressure of what 18-3 looks like. I know I can, because I'm 4-0 the last 2 days. But I don't know about you. So it begs the question. Interrupting my flow? I respect it.
Yeah.
Slow-mos. All right. Mikey P, best bets, go.
Well, Coach, I'm not wasting any time getting my picks in and being first, as well as taking a game on the board. This game starts and tips off at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. St. Bonaventure against LaSalle. It is the Bonnie's head coach last run in the tournament. He will retire at the end of this year. LaSalle beat the Bonnies earlier this year. St. Bonaventure has the better roster, so we're going to take them -5.5 to get tournament action kicked off there. And then yesterday, I thought Syracuse could pull off the upset. They couldn't. They got absolutely destroyed by SMU. But with that being said, SMU just played last night. So I am on number 24, Louisville, taking on SMU in the second round of the tournament. We're going with the Cardinals -6.5.
I like it a lot. All right. So those are two check. But Mikey, you've been on fire. You've been on fire, big dog. You feeling good? You feeling confident?
I'm feeling good. You know what? Head down.
It's killing you. I'm trying to egg him on. I'm trying to get that arrogance out of him. And he claims it's not going to happen. We know better. All right, let's go right downstairs because I look at Big Tommy. I can always count on him for one banger play. And Tommy's been on fire too. Next level capper. Go.
Coach, I'm taking the A game on ESPN tonight, the Cavs versus the Magic. I'm jumping on the Cavs -3.5, -102. The road team has covered the spread in 10 of the last Magic 11 games. The Cavs have won 5 of their last 6 games against the Magic. It's going to be a great game tonight. I know the Cavs have to make a big move here because the Celtics wiped them out on Sunday. And this will be a good game, but I'm jumping all over the Cavs tonight.
Yeah, they need a really good bounce. I think they lost by 11 to the Celtics. Also, the Magic are fighting with their head coach. So there is no more motivation, no mojo. They're trying to play out the string. I love Tommy this play tonight. Very, very, very smart. All right, Tommy's gone. Mikey P has gone. Who else is gone? Is that the only two? Just seeing if anybody's paying attention. Brandon, go.
We're going to go to the hardwood, Coach. We're going to go Rockets +5.5 versus the Nuggets. These two teams have played 3 times. Each of the Nuggets wins have been by 3 points. The only game that hasn't been decided by 3 points was a Rockets win. So let's go Rockets +5.5 at -110. And then Italy versus Mexico tonight. Big game for Team USA, even though they're not playing in it. Total over 8.5 is +110. I think this thing flies over. This Mexico team can really put runs on the board.
Yeah, apparently so can Italy too, because they scored 8 last night on Team USA. We're going to be talking about one of the biggest bungles in the history of sports coming up in front page news, talking about Team USA and what happened last night. But I'm going to go next because Brandon apparently, and I was unaware until just a couple of minutes ago, that when it comes to the Rockets and Nuggets, we have a little bit of, everybody say it with me now, synergy. Still awkward. All right, I'm going to go with the over, 230.5, because the Nuggets are an over team. The other night I played the over, and what did I hear from all the chirping on the show? Well, no Jamal Murray. Where are they going to find the points from? Yeah, they only scored 248. Or no, 255. I'm not a math major. 255. Tonight, I only need 231. And by the way, the Rockets with the Spurs the other night, they sailed to the over too. I love the energy that these two teams are going to bring tonight. A lot of repercussions, as it were, in the Western Conference. I love this over. Then, and I saw Kimberly in the chat say, be careful, coach. Don't throw out your shoulder patting yourself on the back. Oh, by the way, the Players' Championship starts tomorrow at 7:40 a.m. Eastern Time. Yes, Kimberly, I know, because I'm calling it on the ESPN app, the BetCast, where we're setting record for DraftKings 3 in a row. This will be our 4th tournament. That's where I'm sitting right now, PGA Tour headquarters. We dominate this space. So I got 2 round 1 plays. Daniel Berger, he lost in a playoff on Sunday at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, but he said afterwards, he said, my game is sharp. I'm prepared. He still won $2 million. There's no let up. This carries over. And I think he beats Ryan Gerard, who, by the way, didn't even make the cut last week. He played terrible. I love this play for the first 18 holes. Then Ludwig Oberg, he also had a great showing at the API at top 5. I think he gets off to a good start, but this is also about fading Brooks Koepka. His first player since 2022 because he went to live. He has not played good golf. He just hasn't. And I love Oberg to get off to a really good start based off of his good play last week. All right. Everybody's gone except my numbers guy. Raphael, bring it home.
We're going college basketball, both of them. We're going to go up to Air Force, Nevada, in Las Vegas and Sin City, and I'm just taking the over because Air Force is playing. They stink. They've given up 85 points per game in their last 10 games, and Nevada's already beat them twice, and they scored over 79 points in both of those games. So give me the Wolf Pack of Nevada to score tons of points against Air Force. And then DG's not here, so I'll support his team. Give me the Memphis Tigers team total over 77.5. Because the Tulane Green Wave defense sucks. Their last 4 games, every opponent has scored over 90 points against the Tulane defense. I think Penny Hardaway, who's on his way out, she has a big showing today in the conference tournament, and I think they easily beat Tulane today.
These are the type of games right here where neither team really puts pressure on themselves. They just go out and play, have fun, play basketball. So I love in games like that, I love team totals. They're probably going to lose, but they're going to score more than 77 points. All right, gentlemen, let's count them up for tomorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for tomorrow. What do you think is fair for a merch giveaway? 6 and 2 again?
6 and 2.
6 and 2.
6 and 2.
All right. So if we go 6 and 2 on our plays that play tonight, obviously 2 are minor for tomorrow. Then we'll do another free merch giveaway tomorrow. You got to be watching live today. Hashtag Howie in the chat if you want to have your name on the wheel at the end of the show. But this is Wednesday, boys, and on Wednesdays we like to stop and we like to get things off of our chest. And we like to remember one of the great members of our crew who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, but not before making his mark on this squad and on this show. He hated tech. He hated computers. And he hated the fact that I was living in a different time zone and didn't care about calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be an F day, Coach. It absolutely is. And guess what? Every single day, it can be an F day. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the rants.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to the first F day today. Welcome to the first F day. Pardon me.
All right, gentlemen. The rules are simply this. There are no rules. All I want is good opinion, 45 to 75 seconds, somewhere around there. All right. We've got a little bit of sound to start because last night, one of my best bets, the Spurs, they knocked the Celtics out. But the Celtics had to play some of the game without arguably their best player. Here is Jaylen Brown's sound after, a rough night for the C's.
There he is there, continuing to double Brown. Oh, this is going to set Jaylen Brown off. He thought he was pushed out of bounds. He's telling Tyler Ford he got to pick up a technical foul here. He may pick up a technical here. He ran at Ford and had some words there, and the technical is called. He's saying I got pushed out of bounds. And he might be right. Yeah, can't get thrown out. Oh, he just did. Oh, my goodness. Come on. And it wasn't Ford, the crew chief, who gave him the second tee. Siyash Mehta.
Okay, so as you can see, 3 minutes left in the second quarter, so they had to play their entire second half without Jaylen Brown. Read the room. But this isn't me. This is Big Tommy C. So, Tommy, I have one very simple question for you. What are you ranting on today?
Coach, I've been an NBA fan for years, and I watched this game last night in a travesty. First of all, the refs think they are the shit. Excuse my language. They think the way they look. Did you see the smug look he gave Brown? And you know why he did that? Because Brown is smarter than anybody else. Everybody saw it. There's a little whistle discrepancy going on. Let's go back to January 10th, 2026 Spurs Celtics. Free throws in the game. The Celtics had 4 free throws in the whole game. Spurs had 20. JB had 27 points, 0 free throws. You don't think something Fugazi's going on here with the refs, Jaylen Brown, Spurs, and the Celtics? I got something else for you. The Celtics are tied for the second fewest in Celtic history in free throws on that night. In the history of the Celtics. You know how long that is? They are 30th in the NBA in free throws. And then you get to last night. You swallow the whistle on the second one. You knew he wasn't going to get at that first ref. He blew the whistle. And you know what that did for the Celtics? Jaylen Brown cannot play in the Thunder game on Thursday. You tell me there's not something Fugazi going on with these NBA refs, Jaylen Brown, and the Celtics, things that make you go,
Let's go. Let's go, Big Tommy. By the way, the only thing I will push back on, Tommy, the only thing is whenever it takes, 16 technicals to get suspended for a game. And so anytime somebody gets suspended, it means they've had 15 of those before. And I don't know if I'd go so far as to say he didn't deserve all those, but 16's a lot in a season. So that's the only thing I would push back on. But I think if you watch the video and everything you just said, I think there's validity to it. I really do.
But do you see the refs, how cocky they look, though, Coach?
100%. 1,000%. Yeah.
He could have swallowed that whistle the second time.
And should have. They got to know these are big games. Last night was a gigantic game for the league, for TV, for all of it. You give him the first one, and then you let him cool off. And if he doesn't, you give him a big leash. Big leash. Tommy, great start. Great start. All right, now, today is the first day of the new league season in the NFL. Now, say what you want. Say what you want. There's been a lot of front-page news, but it feels like a change needs to happen. So, Mikey P., let me come over to you, big guy. I have one very simple question for you. What are you ranting on today?
Several layers to this, but this is just a general PSA to all fans, especially John Smith sitting in his mom's basement with Cheeto dust on his fingers, sitting on Twitter going, "I'm so mad my favorite team didn't sign my favorite player in free agency." NFL teams and NFL players do not give one iota about your feelings, your thoughts, or your comments during NFL free agency. I am so sick of hearing a player leave the team and a fan goes, "Well, he sucked anyways." Well, then why are you commenting on it? That's first and foremost. Secondly, could there be a bigger disgrace to the NFL than the Baltimore Ravens right now? The only team that was willing to give up a high first round pick and an additional second first round pick to the Las Vegas Raiders. Then they started snooping because all deals aren't made official until Wednesday. Oh, wait, we can get Trey Hendrickson for cheaper? Hey, sorry, Las Vegas. He actually failed the physical. We're out. And shame on you, Trey Hendrickson. You stay in the division with an organization that just made a fool of themselves, and you're going, well, I mean, they're paying me. The NFL right now, their free agency tampering window needs to get tightened up because we cannot allow these teams and these players to make themselves look like the fools that they have been, and fans need to stop weighing in because no one cares. These teams are just going to do what's best for business as well as the players.
All right, really good. Couple of things I will push back on your rant. Trey Hendrickson, I can't fault him. He went through an entire season and preseason last year where they would not budge off that $14 million number. He's making twice that now for the next 4 years. He had to go get his. Now, it is a little fugazi that you have the deal in place on the same day that you rescind the physical that didn't pass for Max Crosby. And they have a history of doing this. That, I do agree with you, is a little bit fishy. A little bit fishy. All right, we're going to turn our attention now to baseball and the World Baseball Classic, where just like the Olympics, these players are into it. Just like the hockey, these players are into this. And there's a young stud named Paul Skeens. He is playing for Team USA. Raphael, coming to you. What are you ranting on today?
Coach, I'm in the baseball spirit, doing a lot of reading in baseball, and I just watched Paul Skeens just dominate the mound in the World Baseball Classic. Can we please get Paul Skeens out of Pittsburgh? I know the Pittsburgh Pirates are the number one bet total season wins. It opened up at 72.5, got bet all the way up to 78.5. But are you telling me the Pittsburgh Pirates are better than my Chicago Cubs? No. Better than Milwaukee Brewers in the division? No. Better than the Cincinnati Reds? No. They might be better than the St. Louis Cardinals. So that means we're going to see Paul Skeens and probably a last place team for the Pittsburgh Pirates again. What wasted talent. We need to get him out. I'd rather see him in a Dodger jersey, Yankee jersey. I don't care. I want him wearing a different jersey than a Pittsburgh Pirate jersey.
Yeah, it's the way things are set up right now. It kind of feels that way. Or you can look at it the other way and say maybe he could build something in Pittsburgh, but that's not going to happen. So I think you have it. You mentioned the Yankees. So, Tommy, I'm going to come back to you real quick because I know you got to get going. Would you like Paul Skeens and talk to your ever-growing fan base in your DMs on your way out the door?
I would take Paul Skeens. I would give my left arm for Paul Skeens. He is the best. He's actually better than Scooble. If you watch him, he's better than Scooble. He is lights out. I would love to have him on the Yankees. It probably won't happen because he'll probably end up in a Dodger uniform. And once again, guys, thank you for having me on today. Catch me on The Last Word with my girl, Gabby, who keeps needling Coach every week. We got a lot of heat going on. Will Coach ever show up on The Last Word? You have to watch and find out. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. And let's go USA Baseball.
Let's go. Let's go. Get Dick Tommy C out there. I tell you what, you give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. All of a sudden, he's all cocky. I can't be, I'll host the show. I can't do, okay, Gabby. Then. Okay, Raphael. Have me back on the show. You guys don't need me on the show. All right. He mentioned Tariq Skubal. Brandon, my guy, I'm coming over to you. What are you ranting on today?
Well, now I'm ranting that I get to go after Tommy C leaves and all of his viewers go away with it. But it's Tariq Skubal. Look, Tariq is a great pitcher. Tariq won 2 Cy Young Awards. But Tariq Skubal's a coward. You go play for Team USA. You see me every week here on Coach and Company. And every single week that I'm here on Coach and Company, I have salute to service gear on, whether it's the camo hoodies, whether it's some of my, salute to service t-shirts that I wear, everything that I have is salute to service because people have died for this country. People have died for that flag. People go to war to give you the right to play baseball in this beautiful country of ours, to put that USA on your chest. And what do? What do? You go home. And then you have the nerve to come out to the media and be like, oh, I hate this. Oh, I hate it. I'll be back to cheer them on and, with the guys. If I'm the guys in the locker room, stay home. Stay home, Tark. Go back to Detroit. Go do whatever you got to do. Go blow another AL Central lead to the Cleveland Guardians. Go do whatever you got to do. We're good here. You coward. You sit there and you say, oh, I don't want, this is hard for me. And I want to do the World Baseball Classic in 2028. And I want to do the Olympics. And I want to do all this other stuff. We don't need you, Tarek. Stay home.
A little backstory to that. You just nailed it right on the head. For people who don't know, he was only scheduled to ever pitch 5.5 innings against Great Britain, I believe was the game. And then go back to training camp. And after he pitched, he said, and I can't believe he said this, I can't believe I'm as into it way more than I thought I would be.
Yeah.
What did you think it was going to be like? This is all the players want to play in it. Everybody talks about the World Baseball Classic. Why didn't you think you were going to be in it? And why did Team USA take a pitcher that only was going to give them less than 6 innings? And then all of a sudden, I want to be back. I want to be here. I want to be here. You could have been here. You could have been here. May not matter, though, which we're going to talk about coming up in Front Page News. Brandon, well done. All right, it is my turn. And I saw this story. We've been watching it develop for the better part of, a year. And it has to stop. The nonsense has to stop. And I'm talking about the WNBA. And last night in New York, the executive committee and the representatives for the league and the players in the union, they met for 12 hours as the deadline was today for it not to affect the schedule. Here are some of the numbers that the players would like to see implemented. 70% of the net revenue. 70. The NBA does like 51.49. They want a salary cap of $5.75 million. Do you know what it is this season? $1.5 million. They want $4 million more than in 2025. They want the average salary for a player to go up to $540,000. You know what it is this past year? $120,000. So they want basically 5 times the average salary that's going on right now. These girls are as delusional as any athletes that I've ever seen in my life. Clearly, they think that the only league that's not about numbers, that's not about revenue share, that's not about this, is them. There is not another business in the world that if you lose money for 28 years, that would even be in business, but not the WNBA, not these girls. And by the way, the executive committee, there's 7 members on it. Only 4 of them showed up for this meeting last night. So you bitch, you moan, you complain, and only 4 of you can show up for the most important in-person meeting that they've had this entire time. Do you know who's not budging? The owners, who are also the NBA owners. Why? Because under this proposal, those same owners would lose, wait for it, hundreds of millions of dollars on top of what they've already lost the last 28 years. Stay out. Don't need you. Unrivaled, I'm here for you. 3-on-3, mini full court. That's the future. WNBA is dead. Anybody else think they'll get a deal done in the next 24 or 48 hours? Mikey, let's start with you.
Yeah, I do. And I'm going to go to the biggest figure in the league, and that's Caitlin Clark. I think the WNBA knows, and I think the owners do know. You've got to put it out there. Bygones be bygones. I think a deal gets done.
But putting it out there is the reason they're not going to move on this is because this proposal, and they're miles apart. And some of the quotes we saw yesterday, Brandon, was, well, the conversation is moving forward. You've had that for the last 2 years. We don't want to hear the conversations moving forward. These owners are not budging like they did with the NBA players because they're not making money with these girls. Am I right?
Yeah, and I'm hearing girls like Angel Reese say, I'm not playing until we make NBA money. If I'm the owners, you know what I tell them? You want NBA money? All right. Here you go, Angel Reese. Here we go. 75% of league revenue. Hey, Angel, what's 75% of negative 40 million?
Boom. That's exactly it. That's what they don't understand. That's what they're missing throughout this entire process is you're talking about a revenue share of a league that's losing money. And at some point, nobody, Raphael, has been able to have these girls understand that their stance is not only stupid, it will never happen.
I think we're talking about their stance like 5 years ago. I think they're still red hot with Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers. I think their stance is a little bit higher than when we looked at negative money the last couple of years. I think that's why a deal gets done this week, not 2 or 3 days. I still think we'll see a deal done at the end of maybe or the beginning of next week.
Unless they come down to 25. 25 might get it done. That still takes them from hundreds of millions in losses to only tens of millions. So maybe they'll get it done right there. Brutal. All right, gentlemen, well done on the rants today. All right, there's a lot of other news going on, and some that is quite honestly unbelievable. It's time for Front Page News. All right, last night I was sitting in my hotel room and I'm working on my computer trying to get ready for the Players' Championship and a lot of things. You know, you have a computer, all the little things slide over, the updates, and I see Bam Adebayo, 43 first-half points. Amazing! And then he breaks the immortal Kobe Bryant's record of 83. Amazing! Until you look at it a little bit closer. 43 free throws last night he shot. That's more than the entire Washington Wizards team. They were fouling in the final 2 minutes up 25 to get more possessions so he could score more points. It was absolutely embarrassing what they did last night to get him to 83, but it was still 83. Here is Bam Adebayo after the game talking with Scott Van Pelt.
I live in the district. The Wizards' defense is not their strength. So you go for 43. Like, at what point does the conversation start happening where you and Spo and your guys are like, let's see how high this number can go? When's that start happening?
It started at halftime.
Okay.
And, you know, at the end of the day, I know the Wizards, you talk about how they don't play defense, but they're an NBA team at the end of the day.
I understand.
Stop with the narrative. It's not about the Wizards. It's about the Heat and how they went about it. Mikey, let me start with you. In 20 years, nobody may care. They'll just see his name and 83 points. But last night, everybody had a voice, and none of them were supporting how they got the job done. What about you?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense, too, because Bam Adebayo, that first quarter, 30 points in the first quarter, 31 to be exact, that turns heads. That gets attention. Coach, through 3 quarters, he had 27 free throws attempted, which, quick math, I'll help you out, Soupy. He had 16 in the fourth quarter alone. And that's all in part because the Miami Heat were fouling, as you mentioned, in the final 2 minutes. It does not surprise me that a team led by Eric Spoelstra would make these kind of decisions. The broadcaster was sitting there going, oh, they're going to take Bam out. They're going to take Bam out. They never did. And one more nugget here for you, Coach. 13% of Bam Adebayo's free throw attempts came last night for the season.
I think that's what Imo Udoka, the host or the coach of the Rockets, was kind of alluding to. He said it's about how he plays that it's kind of surprising, without saying it was kind of BS. Brandon, let me come over to you, because it would have been amazing to score like 60-some or even the low 70s and doing it the right way. When the announcers, as Mikey said, say live on the broadcast, oh, he's coming out now. And he doesn't, and they're up 27 or whatever they were up. It was just like red flags, alarm bells, because he was sitting right on, I think at that time, on 81 when they said that in the broadcast. What's your take, Brandon?
This is why the league is losing viewers on a nightly basis, especially during the regular season. Nobody cares about this product anymore because the players don't care about this product. Even the Wizards wanted to see history last night. They were like, oh, Bam's got a chance to score 83. Let's be the guys he scores 83 against. It's absolute nonsense to me that he went to the line 43 times. We just listened to Tommy C rant about how the Spurs went to the line 20 times while the Celtics only went to the line 7 times. Bam went 43 times by himself. And then the Miami Heat to be fouling at just to get him to those points. I mean, it's absolute nonsense. They were playing this like it was an all-star game. It's crazy. This is why the NBA product is so bad, because nobody cares. Nobody in the league cares. Nobody plays defense.
But you know what they're going to say? All the video was everybody standing up. Their cameras were going. It was the most emotion that arena's seen maybe all season. But Raphael, it probably didn't affect anything betting wise because all the overs had already come in, but it could affect something in the future.
Yeah, it's going to mess us on how we do total points and rebounds for about his next game that he's going to play. But one other thing that shocked me, not one other teammate had more than 10 field goal shots in a game. But we're missing the story here. What did he say in that interview with SBP? We were talking about the record at halftime. They were already talking about how they're going to keep on probably letting them play, maybe do fouls. If they were talking about it at halftime, we shouldn't know what the outcome was going to be at the end of the game.
Yeah, if you're talking about it at halftime, he still needed 40 points to break the record. It wasn't like he needed 20, and it's just kind of shady. It just doesn't sit right because we remember how Kobe did it. Remember how Kobe did it? Yep. I mean, it was shots, fadeaways, tough. And I worked with Jalen Rose. I talked to Jalen Rose about that night, and he was like, he couldn't miss. And it just kept going and going. That wasn't what we saw last night. And that's what I think in the whole scheme of things, anybody that was old enough to know what Kobe did and see what Kobe did, that's why I think a guy like me and maybe guys like you are like, that's not how Kobe did it. That's not how Kobe did it. But, gentlemen, that wasn't the most embarrassing thing last night, not by a long shot. Because let's go over to the World Baseball Classic. And Mark DeRosa, who's actually a talent, he has a show on the MLB network. So he joined the network earlier in the day, and they were talking about his approach to the game. He's like, hey, I definitely want to get guys off the bench. Let's sit Bryce Harper, arguably our best player, because we're already qualified for the quarterfinals in this tournament. The problem was he was wrong. And I don't know how, all the way from the top down to him, nobody knew the tiebreakers and the rules and how you advance. But all of a sudden, there was like 4 eggs all over his face last night when Team USA lost to Italy. And all of a sudden, he finds out, oh, shit, I was wrong. Here he is after the game addressing his interview earlier in the day.
Is that true?
Yeah, I misspoke. I was on hot stove with a couple buddies today and completely misread the calculations. We knew that Mexico was going to play Italy and then running all the numbers with if we lost tonight with the runs allowed and runs scored and outs. So I just misspoke.
If you have to run the numbers and runs and all of that, then maybe play to win the damn game. Because now they're using words like humiliating, inexcusable. And if Team USA gets knocked out tonight, if Italy wins, they're through. But if Mexico wins, now all 3 teams are 3-1, and it goes down to runs and how many runs a team scores. It gets very, very complicated. But the bottom line is they don't control their own destiny. They're one of the pre-tournament favorites. Mikey, let me start with you. How embarrassing is this situation?
I believe it's completely embarrassing, and it doesn't start and end with Mark DeRosa. If you've watched the entire World Baseball Classic, why is it this moment that gets Team USA fired up? Why is it being down 8-0 that gets Team USA fired up? If you watch some of the other games, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, some of those other teams, the crowd does not sit for one single pitch throughout the entire game. So Team USA needs to have their backs thrown against the wall. Mark DeRosa needs to be called an idiot. Team Italy has to have the greatest moment in their baseball history for it to finally matter. I think the entire thing, top to bottom, has been embarrassing, and Team USA is definitely not following in the footsteps of their hockey team.
You could almost understand, guys, that if they were playing the Dominican Republic or if they were playing Japan, okay, but this is Italy. The last time I checked, I don't know any big-time, big league stars from that country. Anyone? Not happening. You know somebody from Italy playing in the big leagues?
Aaron Nola.
Quite a few.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't even know. So my point is, it's not like they got 12 of them. You just said 4 or 5. That's what you guys just said. But my point exactly. So, Aaron Nola, stop it. 5 years ago, maybe. All right, so, Brandon, the point is that this is not a juggernaut. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And USA Athletics, a lot of times, we act too cool for school. This is exactly that. Your take.
Yeah, look, DeRosa, he didn't misspeak. He was just wrong. He just didn't know. And that was the embarrassing part of this. It's not losing to Italy. Look, Italy's a good team. They've got a good lineup. There's a reason why they're undefeated. Vinny Pasquantino of the Kansas City Royals, he is a stud. They've got a lot of players in this lineup that can hit, and they've proven that throughout this World Baseball Classic. I don't want to diminish what they did at all, as much as I would love to, because Mikey's sitting here on the panel, and he's texting me last night of how happy he was that Team Italy's winning. But for me, this is about him not knowing the situation, and that's concerning for me as a Team USA baseball fan.
Do you know what's concerning for me? Is that I've got a member of this team. I've got a member of this squad who is reveling in a United States team losing, and you're not. Yeah, I see that. And he's got the Mikey C smirk, as I like to call it, because he's all proud of himself for being anti-American. We won't have it. I'll deal with you later. Embarrassing, no?
I mean, listen, it's not anti-American. I did this during the Olympics as well. I was all Team Italy. I'm staying with Team Italy. It's not anti-American. It's pro-Italian. And I think we lost. Cool.
Oh, are we here? Are we back?
Yeah. We're back.
All right. See, even the Wi-Fi here at PGA Tour headquarters didn't even want to hear what you had to say, Mikey. Raphael, let me come over to you. That smirk right there, I cannot have it. What's your take?
I actually kind of rooted for Illy, not yesterday's game, but for other games because they have an espresso machine in a dugout. How can you not root for a team that has an espresso machine in a dugout? But DeRosa not only boneheaded yesterday, he probably lost a couple jobs because he's going to be a hot commodity for next year's coaching job. They're going to ask him what was he thinking, what was he coaching like for if they go down and lose this one. So not only did he just blow up the USA Baseball, he might have blown up a head coaching job for Major League Baseball next year for what he did. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he handles all this.
That's a great point. It really, really is. As a manager, you got to know everything. You got to be on top of everything, especially in baseball. Mikey, I see a dramatic reaction over there over something Raphael said.
It's the espresso machine, really? I mean,
I live on coffee.
Gentlemen, we have a little breaking news coming into the show right now. So we talked about the next topic is actually perfect timing. Max Crosby. Yesterday was a big news. Last day of the NFL league calendar year. All these deals can be signed today. And this is why I truly believe that all of this nonsense, it's got to be kept secret until deals are signed. We wouldn't be having this discussion if it was kept under wraps. But this just came out. So Max Crosby, if anybody doesn't know that's watching right now, he was traded 2 first-round picks and a little bit of something else from the Raiders to the Ravens. And it came out yesterday that the Ravens said, he fails the physical because when they evaluated his knee, it was proven to be worse than what they thought. But this just came out, according to Diana Rossini. Great reporter. Baltimore reportedly had all the information regarding Max Crosby's knee recovery timeline before the team pulled out of the deal following Crosby's failed physical. Basically meaning that, yes, they knew he was going to fail the physical because his timeline is he's recovering from meniscus surgery. So, to me, if I'm just guessing, they did a deal with Trey Hendrickson, and he agreed to it, and they said, whoa, we can't afford both dudes. We're going to say no because of this failed physical. Almost as if they knew they were going to do this if Trey didn't sign. Brandon, you're shaking your head. Let me start with you. Is that how it kind of feels to you too?
That's the first thing I thought of last night. If Trey Hendrickson isn't still on the block, Max Crosby is a Baltimore Raven. The reason why they allow him to go back to Las Vegas, the reason why, because look, physicals are a matter of interpretation per doctor. You foul a physical with Baltimore and pass one today in Chicago, wink, wink, and it would be just two doctors in their opinion. I think that Baltimore was like, hey, look, we could actually sign Trey Hendrickson for less money, have more money on the books, and we get our 2 first-round picks back. Why don't we go do that? This is bad faith by Eric DaCosta. I think this is going to alter the way teams do business with the Baltimore Ravens in the future. I think this is bad for the Baltimore Ravens, and I think that this might cost DaCosta his job eventually.
So there's also a on Twitter, Polymarket football account just said, wow, Caleb Williams leaves a smiley emoji on Trey Hendrickson joining the Ravens. Max Crosby and Caleb Williams reportedly, Mikey, are really good friends. Are you surprised at this?
No, and Coach, honestly, I've been waiting for this segment because I have so many feelings on this, and Brandon hit it on the head. Max Crosby's played 6,449 snaps since entering the league in 2019. He's coming off a meniscus repair, not a trim. He's not passing any physical with any team with flying colors right now. But the opinion of one doctor is not the opinion of the rest of the NFL's doctors. So teams could pass him right now if they're comfortable with him. So this is a terrible look for the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think anyone's going to do business with the Ravens moving forward. And as far as the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams, they had a great podcast, Williams and Crosby, to kick off the offseason. That's kind of fired up these rumors, and I believe Chicago is in play to make a Max Crosby trade as of today.
Wow. Okay. Little breaking news from Mikey. Mikey's been all over the breaking news in the last week. He had the Francis Ngannou news. Congratulations on that story. Now maybe you're ahead of the game on this one too. Who knows? Raphael, let me come over to you because this obviously is going to affect a lot of things in the futures market. Wins sack number, whatever it is. When you do something like this now, it's going to be everybody's going to be, let's just wait a second. But I think Mikey is absolutely right. A lot of teams who before would do business with the Ravens might say now, you know what? Let them do it through the draft. We don't want to deal with them.
100% agree on that. But the Crosby deal to Ravens did nothing for Super Bowl numbers, total season win numbers.
Oh.
It did absolutely nothing. But I'm a conspiracy theorist, and this is all planned by the NFL. They want to hijack World Baseball Classic, hijack the conference tournaments. So why did we break this story last night? You know when Crosby's going to be signed by the Bears or Cowboys? Next Thursday, when the NCAA tournament tips, that's when Crosby signs, so they can hijack March Madness, the NFL.
Wow. Conspiracy theories. You might be right. If it breaks next Thursday morning, right here on Coach and Company, you might be right. Very, very interesting. Mikey, anything else you'd like to say on this before we move on?
I do want to credit and give some, respect to Max Crosby, because he even tweeted this morning, it is 6 years to the day that he's been sober. So when your world blows up, as it has, you've been playing with the Raiders for so long, you think you're going to be on a perennial Super Bowl contender, and now you go back to the Raiders and you don't know your football future. He's got his priorities straight. And there is a bigger long-term effect here, Coach, if I may. The Raiders committed over $283.5 million to free agents on day freaking one of the tampering window. Now they just got $30 million added to that. So there's going to be a lot of dominoes that come from this, but credit to Max Crosby for kind of just keeping his head down and staying on the straight and narrow.
All right. Very well said there, Mikey. Very well done. I think what's also going to happen is because of that last number that you said, that other teams are going to know they've got to get rid of him. And so they're going to offer a little bit less than what the Ravens did, knowing the Raiders cannot afford to keep him based off of the money they've already basically promised to other people. They're backed into a corner here. They absolutely are. All right, gentlemen, because our discussion was so good with all the other topics, we are going to skip the NBA because I always say the show will never go over an hour. So those of you watching in the chat right now, you have about another 60 seconds. Hashtag Howie. If you want your name on the Coach and Brolette wheel to be awarded a free t-shirt, anything you want at our new merch store, we're going to spin that wheel at the end of the show. But right here, right now, after the last 2 days, 18-3, let's lock it in. Okay, 10 seconds or less. Just 1 or 2 nuggets is all that I need. Big Tommy C is on the Cavs tonight, -3.5, -102. They're on the road in O-Town. Raphael, let's go.
Mountain West basketball gave me Air Force Nevada over 139.5. Air Force is allowing 85 points per game this season. I think they give up a lot of points tonight. And then give me the Memphis Tigers team total over 77.5 because they're playing Tulane, and Tulane's defense sucks.
All right, Brandon, you're up.
Let's go Rockets +5.5 versus the Denver Nuggets. This number has hit in all 3 of their matchups this season. And then Italy versus Mexico tonight. Total over 8.5 at +110.
Yeah, I have a feeling a lot of the bullpens are depleted there for both teams, so it should be a shootout tonight between Italy and Mexico. A lot of repercussions for Team USA in that game as well. They're rooting for Italy to get the job done. Mikey P, you're up.
Give me St. Bonaventure in an ode to their coach in his final year, Mark Smith, -5.5 in the opening round of the Atlantic 10 tournament versus LaSalle. And then Louisville taking on SMU on the second night of a back-to-back for the SMU Mustangs. We're taking the Cardinals -6.5.
All right, I'll round it up. I got 2 round 1 plays tomorrow. Remember, it's a full field event. We'll have the betcast on the ESPN app starting at 8 a.m. Eastern time. So we have somebody else sitting in the, I think, I believe tomorrow is Peyton, and then Friday will be Mikey. But we'll take a look at that. But anyway, I like Daniel Berger -125 over Ryan Gerard. Last week at the API, very difficult golf course. Ryan Gerard missed the cut, shot way over par. Daniel Berger lost in a playoff. Still made $2 million. Said after the game, my game is very sharp. And I think he gets off to a great start, as does Ludwig Oberg. It's a home game for him. He gets to sleep in his own bed. -145, a little juicy. But Brooks Koepka has not looked good at all since returning from Live, and all the bright lights are going to be on him. First Players Championship since 2022. Let's fade him on Thursday. And then one game tonight, Rockets Nuggets. It sails to the over 230.5. If we go 6-2 on the games that happen today, we'll do another free merch giveaway on Thursday. All right, Raphael, my guy, please make me a little bit smarter.
First, I'll have Max Crosby betting odds in tomorrow open where he's going to land. But right now, each of the Minnesota Timberwolves' last 6 games have gone under the total. Last night game against the Lakers flew under the total, so I think we see 7 straight.
Wow. And tonight they're on the road late night, 10:30 Eastern time. The LA Clippers. All right, gentlemen, a couple more nuggets. By the way, March 21st, you guys know I did the Star on the Walk of Fame for Fluffy. He was on the Tonight Show last night.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see the shirt he was wearing? Super cool, right? It's very funny when I get to be a part of some of these bigger things that you're like, a week ago, we were on the streets of Hollywood, and I got to, dazzle the masses. And then a week later, he's in New York. I'm in Florida. I'm on with you clowns. So I go from him to you three. What is my life? But March 21st, he has sold out SoFi Stadium, which is right next to the Clippers arena now. They're in Inglewood. Over 100,000 people expected. And your boy will be there. I'm going to shoot a little content for the show for him and Joe Coy. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Jealous? FOMO? Yes?
I am. I'm completely jealous.
It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. We got one thing left to do. And I believe we've got a lot of names this morning on the wheel. So, producer man, if you don't mind, can I see the wheel on the screen, please? How are we going to do it today? Oh, look at producer man.
Wow.
He made it bigger. No, not shocking. All right. So those of you who listened, you see your name scrolling right there. Hashtag Howie was the thing today. So ton of new merch. So producer man, if you don't mind, spin that wheel, please. No big cheesy. No big cheesy.
Me. Come on, me.
Yeah, Raphael, I know that you put your name in yesterday. I saw that, by the way. Yeah, that was funny. Who's it gonna be? Oh, the chat queen Texas Joel. Okay, Raphael clap. All right, Texas Joel. The only rule we have, you got to be watching live. So we're gonna put an email up on the screen right now, and you email producer man. He'll email you back. You tell him what you want. We send it to you. And if I keep saying it more and more, it'll come up on the screen. I promise you. All right, it's probably frozen right now. All right, Texas Joel. We'll figure it out. We'll get it to you somehow. Oh, there you go. All right. So there is the email. And send it to producer man. He'll handle everything for you. A ton of new options there. So hopefully we can do 3 for 3 tomorrow. I would love that. There's nothing like more than giving away merch. Brandon, tonight, big show for you guys, yes?
Huge show. Gonna be talking a lot of Max Crosby, a lot of NFL, and we've got a bunch of guests tonight. We'll be talking Cordell Woodland, who covers the Ravens. Nick Friedel's on tonight, and Joe DeLeon, who covers the NFL draft.
Oh, can you tell Nick I said hello, please? I love Nick Friedel.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's super cool. I had him on SportsCenter a lot back in the day. By the way, where can people find BetMGM tonight?
You can go on YouTube and just search at BetMGM tonight. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on all the socials as well at BetMGM tonight.
All right, very, very good. And once again, I will be on Off the Ropes this afternoon, 2 to 4 Eastern Time, channel 156. By the way, the network is absolutely exploding. You're welcome, America. And then tonight, because I'm working golf tomorrow, we'll be doing our stadium preemption. Tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern, live tonight. We'll be doing the Coach and Bro Show. A lot to talk about there as well. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this. You probably don't. So Rant Wednesday is so popular here. I took it to Off the Ropes on Sirius. You know what we call it there? We did our first one yesterday. Turnbuckle tirades is what I came up with.
I like
Turnbuckle tirades. Thank you. We did the segment, and then we had a caller segment, the next segment, and all they wanted to, normally they talk about topics and things like that. Every single caller wanted to do a turnbuckle tirade right after we did it. It was awesome. We put 30 seconds on the clock, and they, most of them went like 9 because they were super nervous. 9, 10 seconds. I thought they were going to go 6 or 7, but I think we found a new one. Brandon refuses. He absolutely refuses. All right, gentlemen, well done today. Well done today. Really good show, really good vibe. Give me that one shot, producer, man, because you know what time it is. It's now time for all of you to go out into the world, for you to pay it forward, be kind to one another, and understand how grateful we are to be able to do this every single day because of all of you. So I got to go get ready for Off the Ropes, but in the meantime, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire team, love them all. Mikey P, Raphael, Brandon, and of course, Big Tommy C, and all of his fandom. Never forget about producer man behind the scenes, making the show look like $1 million. I am simply the coach, trying to make this thing just stay on the tracks. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about every single day. This is Coach and Company. We'll see you tomorrow.